cheers from the auditorium there.
You see all the guys, everyone in pit lane.
Yes.
Brilliant to see. Reiterberger's out of his leather, so he's not going on the bike.
No, he's had enough. So we'll be rejoined very soon by the Eurosport 2 viewers. Thank you to everybody on the Discovery Plus app for tuning in. So welcome back to Spa-Francorchamps. We have the race has been suspended, as you can see at the top of the screen, the red flag, but also, as you can see, the bikes are being pulled back onto the circuit, although the number 37 bike is being pulled straight into the pit garage. So, of course, they have not been allowed to work on these bikes at all. The pit lane is open. You can see the number 34 machine, and that one has already had a slightly charcoal frame because it went on fire way back early in the race. So they have got 5 minutes for refueling and mechanical adjustments, whatever they wanted to do. So that is why all the bikes are suddenly being pulled back, because they were all quarantined, weren't they, Joe? At the thing they can't be worked on.
All going to the Parc Fermé, and that's where they have to sit. They're not allowed to be touched until the race officials say that the race situation has started again.
Yeah, absolutely, although it looks like they've been able to get to work with a J-cloth to clean off the bikes for the most part, so they're looking a bit cleaner than they were before. But who we got there in the BMW pit? The red.
Looks like Jeremy Guanone's going to finish the race for the BMW team.
Yeah, absolutely, and
looks like they're just topping up the fluid for the radiator there. Got to be careful not to say coolant. They don't run coolant on these bikes because of the slippy nature of coolant, so they have to run water.
As we saw that with one of the teams that were up in the was it the Wojcik bike that was splashing water into the radiator. We saw in the pits as we
it was the 96, the Moto 96
yes.
bike. Yeah, they had to take the radiator cap off there and just top the water up.
We were in the Eurosport booth after just handing over to Tom Gaymore and Chrissy Rouse. We were just in the sort of Eurosport Goldfish Bowl with all the screens, and then we saw this bike being covered up and all the water flying out the top of the radiator cover. So we were quite wondering what was going on. And obviously, yeah, just had a brief issue there.
And everybody in that BMW garage, they'll be sat fingers crossed. They'll be able to hear every little thing. When Jeremy Guanoni goes out on that bike, he'll be paranoid about any little noise that's coming out of that bike. And the same for these guys. What an amazing race they've had. You know, they're relatively privateer, the Tati Berenger team.
Yeah.
They're not a Kawasaki official team. And yeah, what a brilliant job they've done. Everyone just praying that after the bikes have been sat for an hour, they can press that green button and it starts.
Yes, absolutely. Well, one team that's had an issue with that is the Yamaha, of course, but they're not there. So, yep.
New set of wets going in.
Yeah, new set of wets. 2 minutes to go for the mechanics to just make those final tweaks that you can see on screen there. Not quite sure who's the Honda rider warming up. Can you see him in the background there at all, Joe? Keen eye. We know it's not Josh Hook because he hasn't done any wet bike, and it is proper wet. Look at it out here now. Well, the heavens open. The demons of the Ardennes forest know that they're restarting the race because they just decided to throw steroids of rain down at the
look at that old fella just leant against there thinking just another day at Spa. He's a local man, doesn't expect any difference.
Been there, done that. I expect he was here 18 years ago for the last 24 hours of Liège. I expect he went to every Grand Prix. I bet he was at that 1985 race that was on that tape that I used to watch. Absolutely crazy. Is this on TV? Is that the number 77 bike, or was that his personal number? I didn't quite make sure.
That might have been his personal
number. A lot of them put their personal race numbers on the both their Twitter handles and their gear as well.
We just heard that Honda running a second ago. Didn't sound to be anything wrong with that. So.
So we know it's going to be either Gino Ria or Mike D'Amelio on the Honda because they finished off the race under wet running. I'm not quite sure how Josh Hook got away with that, but I'm sure, when it rains next, they'll be straight out on that bike with him.
And there's the 77, the Wojcik bike.
And you're saying that that's Balint Kovac, the Hungarian, is going to see out the rest of the race for them. So to watch for the watch out for this. So for the final 20 or so minutes left in this race, they're going to resume under safety car conditions. 15 bikes out together. So that will be BMW, Tati Behringer Kawasaki, Yoshimura Suzuki, FCC TSR Honda. Those two bikes, third and fourth, on the same lap. When they get racing again, they'll be racing for real. And then Wojcik Racing Bike, fifth, Viltes Racing, Yamaha, Team Moto Ain, and then the leading super stock bike of Team LH Racing Yamaha. You were seeing something there, Joe?
Yeah, it looks like Gino's going to be the guy to finish on the Honda.
Excellent.
So fingers crossed for Gino and that FCC team that they don't have 20 minutes of drama. Fingers crossed for them all, because it's
going to be drama.
demoralizing.
They've got to catch Yoshimura. They're literally that position is worth 4 points, so that's an 8-point swing. They would be, if it finished like this, they would be 23 points down. If they pass them, they're only 15 points down going into the next round. So it's important. They will know that. You can sense there's extra bit of urgency around that pit, isn't there?
Yeah.
You can see the BMW guys, like you say, checking everything, making sure, tightening everything up. Very dramatic. Einstein, get it sorted.
Yeah.
But the Honda guys, they know there's something on the line here.
And you know what? If you ever want to see a grown man cry, go to a World Endurance meeting. Because this does break humans.
Listen to that.
It absolutely breaks them.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Look at the crowd. I mean, that's incredible support, isn't it?
Howling with rain, and the stands are still full with people cheering.
Absolutely, thoroughly persisting down, and they are all there cheering on properly. So yeah, out go 15 bikes, go behind the first safety car.
So I think they're all going to go around and line up, and then they're going to set them off from the start grid. 15
right, okay.
At that. They've let more than 15 out there.
Yeah, they haven't there. Yeah, so my mistake there. There's some conflicting information coming our way, but yeah, they're going to do a grid type start, are they? They can't do the starting running across, surely, can they?
I don't think so.
Yeah, is the grid even painted on?
And you know, the guys need to use this as an opportunity just to have a little bit of a check of the work that's been done since the track's been cleaned.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, the oil spillage that happened to cause that red flag was, you know, it was fairly severe and through a number of turns.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, absolutely.
If they've got
holding their breath,
enough energy back in their brains to be able to think, that's where they want to be. They want to be just trying to evaluate what the track's like. And they will be doing, you know. These guys are all world-class riders.
Look at this lot, fantastic. They have waited so long for this. They were not going to leave early. They were not going to clear off. Quite amazing to see how they've stayed patiently waiting for this. Proper fans out in Belgium at the moment. And anybody who has followed the sport of motocross for years and years know how ardent the Belgian fans could be when some of their riders used to challenge them. There are stories of a British rider getting his hand broken by a Belgian fan because he was challenging their world championship contender. That's a true story. And yeah, they used to throw mud at riders, all sorts of stuff. So the fans in Belgium, they are hardcore, and they will certainly be out there supporting, and they are making themselves known as a presence in this race, despite the awful conditions that have now descended across this circuit. They will be there to the checkered flag, and I'm sure beyond it, with the podium ceremony still to come. We will have this all on the coverage for you, with Eurosport 2 viewers rejoining us across the continent. So thank you for returning with us and seeing out the end of this spectacular race. It's been a real shame that we've been silent on the track for so long, but obviously safety precautions needed to be adhered to. They don't want any problems as a result of something that can be avoided. So yeah, Gino Ria is going to see things out for the Honda squad, and he'll be psyched up. He has got to race against the local favourite, Xavier Simeon. So there we go, TSR, they know what's on offer. So here they go. Looks like they're going to line up in formation on the side of the circuit by the looks of it. They've got their own markers. I'm sure it will be in race order as they ran. As in comes Jeremy Guarnoni.
Javi Simeon's going to finish the race for the CERT team. Josh Hook there looking on.
Yeah, and D'Amelio in the background as well, the other two riders.
Some good sportsmanship there between Simeon and the Tati team there.
All fist bumping between the pair of them there, but I'm sure there won't be much fist bumping between Xavier Simeon and Gino Ria. They're going to go at it head-to-head for third place.
You know, I think you'd be surprised. These guys all respect how hard it is to be able to finish a 24-hour race. So
as they all line up ready for this start. Here we go then. So this is the restart here. They line up in the order of the order of classification as they were when the race was stopped. So that sees, just to give you a quick run down through, BMW out in front, Jamie Guarnoni on that bike. Then the number 4, Tati Berenger machine. They've got 2 laps grace over the number 1 and the number 5, who are both on the same lap. So they will be racing for third place. That's Xavier Simeon on the Sir Yoshimura Suzuki, the championship leaders, over those who would be second in the series, the FCC Sports TSR Honda France machine, with Gino Ria on board. And as I said to you, that position, it's an 8-point swing. If it stays as it is with the Suzukis in front, they'll be 23 points clear of the Honda. If they change position, it'll be 15. So it's all to play for between those two for third and fourth in the race here. And of course, the final step on the podium. This is Xavier Simeon's chance to get onto the podium at his home event. And if it stays as it is, he would be the only Belgian on the podium, because there are no Belgians at all in either the BMW team or the Tati Racing team. There was a Belgian, of course, in Bastian Mackels, but he got injured and was replaced by Loic Arbel in that squad. So maybe they might, if they get on the podium, Bastian might come and join them, you think?
Maybe. And just looking a little bit further down the grid, you know, this restart, how it could potentially impact on any results. We said before about the LRP Poland and the Bolliger team. They're both in the Superbikes together. They are on the same lap. Yes. So you're looking on screen there at the number 90 and the number 8. Those two are on the same lap. So this next 20 minutes is going to be pivotal for them. And other than that, the only other battle that could be decided here that are on the same lap is the Superstock team of the Pit Lane Endurance and the 44 of No Limits. They're both again on the same lap. So this is an opportunity for No Limits to get some much needed points. You know, they were strong in the EWC Superstock class last year. They're a very experienced team. So again, they'll have done their homework. They'll look and they'll know what they need to do. But ultimately, this next 20 minutes, that could decide that position. Everywhere else, if everybody can keep themselves out of trouble, there's more than a lap difference between the person in front and the person behind. So for other than the 6 riders we've talked about, everybody just needs to circulate. And there will be 3 battles on track that will be decided. That battle there, as Joe talked about, is for 5th and 6th in the super stock category. So that is for the difference in points there. 5th gets 21 points, 6th gets 19, and that's between the number 86 bike with Azrim Modipak, the Turk, on board for them, and Alexei Mazbu, a nice experienced pair of hands for the No Limits Suzuki team. Now the No Limits bike has struggled. They came into this race second in the championship behind the Sapeur Pompier bike, but they have had a real arduous time. So if they can recover another position, that will be a massive boost to them, which should see them retain a decent position in the championship. In fact, they might well leapfrog the they will stay ahead certainly of the National Motos bike, who was 3rd coming in. So the safety car with the top 15 riders. That is everybody from Guarnoni, Alan Tescher, Xavier Simeon, Gino Ria, Banian Kovac, Stephen Odendahl, Isaac Vinales, Johan Nigon, the leading Superstock machine on the Team LX Racing Yamaha, and then the 2 battling Dominic Vinson and Nico Toni on the number 90 and number 8 bikes. So those are the active races there. You've also got Philip Steinmeier, Roberto Rolfo, Leo Munier, Jacopo Cotaro on the number 17 Hub Center steering bike, and the number 14 Anthony West on the Mako machine. That's the cut-off point, and then they have the remaining riders from 16th downwards, and that's the number 121 Falcon Racing bike ahead of the Endurance number 86 Pit Lane Endurance squad. And then they have that battle to go on with the number 44 No Limits Motor team. Too stressful for Josh Hook, and you can see what it means there. The Suzuki squad waiting
patiently. Greg Black has remained suited up. He's not changed into shorts and T-shirt quite yet. Perhaps a bit of superstition there from Mr. Black. But here we go.
If you ever want to find a superstitious lot, you're looking at them. Motorcycle racers are the most superstitious. He probably doesn't want to take whatever he's got in his ear there. He doesn't want to take that out in case it brings bad luck. We're a strange breed. But I bet you can cut the tension in there in those two pit boxes. Yeah, absolutely. So much work goes into this from a rider's point of view. To lose it in the last 20 minutes under a safety car start is going to be so frustrating. I think we're going to see Simeon with some local Belgian knowledge of this track getting stuck in here, but Gino is not one to be discounted.
Yeah, it's going to be close to that, because that is for the final position on the podium. Like you say, it's hard to think that Simeon will let himself be denied of that sort of honour anyway at his home track. But there's nobody like Gino Rea for sticking his nose in where it's not wanted and basically putting paid to that result if he can.
I wouldn't be surprised here if we see the BMW get past and again with the number 4 Tati bike. I wouldn't be surprised if those two guys just roll off.
Yeah, just smooth burst,
and let the Honda guys go to battle. Yeah, you fully expect that.
I wonder if Simeon just put his hand up and said, no, it's me that's going to see this through. Rea is holding back a little bit here. Is this where the safety car peels off? No. They go up.
He's still got his lights on, so until the lights go off on the car, they're going to be sat behind that car, and then the lights will go off and the car will pull off the circuit.
And this continues to be uphill. It looks fairly flat on TV, but it is a constant uphill pull on the engines coming up here. Hook looks nervously on. Guadagnoni looks nervously over his shoulder. Is he waving to the Kawasaki guy? Yeah, just carry on.
Saying, you go first. I don't want to ride in this.
That is Alain Tescher. Certainly plenty of experience there. And yeah, Simeon, you can tell the nerves, can't you? The difference in body language between the leading pair and Simeon and Rea is quite incredible. A much tenser pit in there. Certainly the big battle for third place in this race. And again, it has championship consequences as well. So they prepare for the last 10 minutes of this race. Rolling in behind the safety car. It will peel to one side and we'll get racing underway properly. So they line up then. It's BMW, Tati, Team Behringer, Kawasaki, and then the all-important battle between the two championship combatants, the leaders in the series. FCC, TSR, Honda France, Gino Rea currently in their 4th place on circuit as you see them circulate here. The safety car is coming in this lap. This is it. Racing is going to resume, and it's going to be Xavier Simeon in the Belgian corner versus Gino Rea in the British corner. Of course, the Suzuki against the FCC Honda squad. Red and blue corners, really, they should be, shouldn't they? I've got that completely wrong. I missed the chance to have that boxing analogy there. Well, either so, it's going to be a desperate scrap between those two. Also, watch out for the battle further on down. 8th and 9th in the EWC class. That is the number 90 Team LRP Poland BMW. Having to fend off the number 8 Team Bolliger Switzerland Kawasaki squad.
This is going to be it'll be a three-lap sprint at this rate. This is going to be a 3-lap sprint.
The craziness of endurance racing. We've had like literally a few hours now of being sat stationary and watching safety cars and people dance in the pits. And now here we go. This BMW rider, Guadagnoni, just looking over, going like, just go on through. I really don't care. I've got 7 laps. He could cycle home at this point. It really is not going to be an issue. But yeah, it's certainly, I can imagine, Joe, you're just going to see the Suzukis and the Hondas clear off, aren't they? They're just going to put the hammer down. They've got to, haven't they?
You're in a funny position here, because riding in the wet, you almost need to commit to a certain level to maintain heat in the tyres, but also your concentration. You see people do such stupid things, and all it is a lack of concentration. So they've got to you know, Guanoni knows he's going to need to get stuck in enough that he's loading that tyre, he's making the tyre work, he's keeping some temperature, and these tyres will be clap cold at the minute. Yep. So it's going to take him probably 2 laps to get some temperature in them, and he's going to have to be really focused on that. He can't be getting too excited just yet, you know.
Well, the lap time's going to be 2 minutes 4, 2 minutes 30. So we're only going to get about 3 laps of racing, really.
This is assuming the safety car pulls off. I mean,
it says in this lap, I think they've been pulling in at the end of Rouge.
Yeah, the lights are off the car. Yeah, he's signalling to turn left, so we're going to see now.
He's going to go that way. They're going to turn right onto La Source and resume racing here at Spa-Francorchamps. Off they go then. And straight away, the Suzuki is having to fend off. Gino Rea tucks inside. He's going to take it. Gino Rea has overtaken Simeon.
Gino's going to pull the pin here.
We could see some sparks fly here because Simeon will not want to let that podium go. Or is Gino Rea going too fast, too quickly? Who knows how he's going to respond? Rea is going to blow past the BMW, who's just going to nurse it home here. Gino Rea is going to take the bull by the horns. Yeah, waves
Jeremy
the leg.
Guanoni sticks the leg out. Yeah. You boys get stuck in. I'm happy just to see you. Yeah, he wants nothing to do with it. Wants nothing to do with it, and that's exactly what we expected. God. This is now going to be a 2-way battle, and Simeon's going to use Gino as a little bit of a gauge here, I think.
Yeah. Guanoni did Simeon no favours there. I mean, he was gesturing with his leg, Joe. Surely he was going to pull over.
I don't think Guanoni knew he was there. I don't think he knew he was there. But Simeon's going to have to be careful here because Gino's decided to sprint. He knows what's at stake.
I mean, if he didn't know he was there, then surely there must have been a miscommunication in the team. And surely the team should have told Team BMW, look, numbers 1 and 5 are going to be battling for 3rd. Get out of the way.
To be fair to Guanoni, he put his foot out earlier on down the straight, and he didn't know that Simeon maybe wasn't
didn't go through,
quite so far behind. So when you get to the corner, you've got to tip in. This is the thing. He needs to keep focused on his own race. Does Guanoni? You know, they've worked hard, the BMW team, so he needs to do his own thing. But yeah, that was a close one.
Far too close for comfort there for Xavier Simeon. So I think they're going to have 2 more laps, Joe. I think that's going to be it.
Looking at the time, yeah.
Because it's going to go the checkered flag comes out when the leader of the race, so that'll be the BMW, crosses the finish line, isn't it?
Yeah.
These guys will be able to get an extra lap in almost on their own, perhaps.
And looking at that, Simeon's he's going to have to pull something out of the bag here. He's going to have to go harder if he's going to try and close that. I know it's only a second, but they haven't got the time.
No. Here is the restart. Straight away, Gino Rea dropped the hammer, coming out of La Source, all the way down the hill towards Eau Rouge. And I was a bit concerned that he went that fast. There go the Honda squad. They are loving every minute of that. And then the Suzuki say Sacre Bleu. Oh, it's not hanging around, though. That was a point to rejoin, wasn't it?
You could hear the traction just kicking in,
just a
cutting
bit.
the ignition.
Yeah, Simeon's going with him. It's not over. It's not over by a long shot. In the battle further on down, the looks like the number 8 Kawasaki has made its way past the LRP Poland BMW as well. So 8th and 9th has swapped places in the EWC class. Just fingers crossed for everybody. The last 5 minutes of the 24-hour race. People on tenterhooks, they're applauding. It ain't over yet. Suzuki, arms folded.
If there's one man with local knowledge that's going to play an advantage, it's Javier Simeon, the local Belgian man. You know, we heard them talking earlier on about the braking at the end of the Kemmel Straight and keeping to the centre of the track. It's little bits of knowledge like that are gonna play an advantage. Gino's obviously a world-class rider. You know, he's a factory Honda rider, loads of experience.
Yeah.
But they're going to have a 2-lap sprint here. So
absolutely, and
see Simeon braking more so to the right-hand side of the circuit where he knows there's more grip, staying well away from the left, the conventional racing line. That is a very worried looking team.
And the Yart squad will also still cheers the pot noodle there. Other snacks are available. Sorry, I just noticed the Yart squad will be cheering on because, again, that's going to hack back another few points for them to catch up because they're just stood there not scoring anything at all in this race now. And as it stands, they would be a mile back, 34 points back. But if it stayed as it was, they would be 30 points back in total. So, yeah, not as bad, perhaps, for them.
This is horrible for both of these teams because whoever doesn't win out this battle has ridden their heart out for 24 hours
and not got the podium.
So it's going to be so disheartening for whoever doesn't finish in third out. Looking now, Gino's got no plan of backing out.
No, absolutely, and neither has Simeon. He is absolutely on the case. The Belgian at his home round, hoping to get onto the podium. I mean, it will be a consolation prize at best, because, of course, having a near-perfect record over the last couple of years, the Belgian was truly hopeful to continue that vein of success here, but it's not going to happen because they're 7.9 laps down, this pair, on the BMW. That ain't going to change. Alan Tesher is going to see it at home in second place on the Team Behringer bike. Further on down, we have had a pass. It looks like, yeah, Masbou has overtaken Azrin Roddy-Pak for that Superstock battle. That was a pair of them on the same lap, and so that has happened there.
Sorry, Simeon's closed that gap down to half a second now.
Oh, it's getting very tense. Now remember, the checkered flag comes out.
A lot less than half a second now. A lot less than half a second.
How far back is the BMW? Because this could well be the last lap. 1 or 2 laps for sure. The checkered flag will come out once the BMW has crossed the line after the 24 hours has ticked over. So
he hasn't appeared in the back of shot yet.
Whoa, Super Stock box all over the track. Gino Rea got totally caught out. He runs wide. Simeon, the crowd goes wild. The cheers come from the Suzuki garage and the home crowd itself. Gino got totally confused by the Superstocks approaching that La Source hairpin. Look how slow they're going in comparison. I mean, nobody wants to chuck it away in the last 5 minutes of the race, so they're going to be taking it steady. But these guys are full-on racing in the wet conditions. Oh, it's a full track I could barely watch.
Yeah, and there's more back markers to come. We're saying back markers. This is that second wave,
second train,
the second wave of 15 riders,
car, yeah.
and it's going to play a part in this race.
Oh.
Because Simeon's undoubtedly going to get caught again at some point.
But that's played right into the hands of Simeon. Gino Rea, I don't think he expected it, do you?
No, I don't for a minute. I don't think he thought that was going to happen for a minute.
Oh. The 65 bike just runs off the track there. Look, that track's almost been off the track more than on in this event. But yeah, Simeon. Wow, 1.1 seconds over Rea after that mistake by the Englishman going into La Source. Literally just looked up and saw a track full of Superstock bikes and just jammed on the brakes and very nearly lost it completely, but he certainly lost third place, and that is going to see it swing back towards the Suzuki squad. The champions of the world are looking to take it home again in this 2022 season with the same team, Sylvain Guintoli, Greg Black, and the current rider on track, Xavier Simeon. But Gino Rea is not giving up, Joe.
No, Gino has not given up the fight at all. He's still pushing on there.
He will be spitting feathers coming out after that horrendous La Source problem. He's caught back up to the rear end nearly of Simeon as more Superstock bikes in the way. Simeon now is the one that's going to meet them first. And that's enough.
Gino, yeah.
Here comes Gino. He's going to take advantage, surely. Simeon goes one side. Oh, they go either side. Whoa!
And Simeon just had to, he lost out there as he came onto that area on the entry to Blanchimont. He just ran on the painted section.
Oh, so close.
And
look,
he had to roll out of it.
No, he's not. Is he going to go for it at the bus stop?
Gino's just going to try and open the corner up a little bit for himself here.
Tight in means wide out usually. Rea squares it off. This must be the last lap because the 24 hours have gone. And the BMW will take the checkered flag as the race winner. The Tati Racing bike will take second, but Rea takes third, going into La Source where he lost it a lap ago. Oh, they nearly touched.
And again, the back markers here are going to play another part on this lap. I've got no doubt.
Yeah, they're going to be out there, like you say. A couple of them were racing for position. We were talking earlier, the number 101, the number 86 and 44.
Oh, the BMRT bike. I think
heart in mouth stuff.
I think Simeon's going to struggle to pull that gap now.
Yeah, I think discretion the better part. Valor. Rea is on the case. Simeon very much messed up by the number 24 Maxis Never's bike there.
The thing is, Lord. Gino doesn't know that. Gino, for all Gino knows, he's right behind him. So.
But across the line, and it's got to be a landmark win for the BMW squad. They come across the line, first and second. Jeremy Guagnoni punches the air. Team BMW have taken the race win at Spa. Absolutely exalted at that. Fantastic result for them. And Team Behringer Kawasaki well and truly overjoyed with second as well.
I love what that means to him.
The veteran, Greg LeBlanc in that squad as well. It's a fantastic result for them. And this is the super stock winner. We're seeing these guys home whilst the battle rages for third. But that is the LH Racing Yamaha squad. Across the line is the rider in blue, Johan Nigon, with the blue armbands. The Frenchman crossing the line to take the super stock win with his teammates Enzo de la Vega and Hugo Robert. They were 6th at Le Mans, 5th in qualifying here, and they have taken the Superstock race win at Spa. And looking like, barring any disaster, Gino Ria on this last lap here is just going to hold off Xavier Simeon. We think the second goal, he took a twitch and I nearly died. I just thought I saw his leg move and I was like, oh, please don't lose it, Gino.
Nah, Gino's looking comfortable and confident there.
And as a neutral hoping for a close championship, you've got to say this is a better result. Yoshimura have had it all their own way in this championship for a long, long time, and they are not going to get on the podium at this race unless Gino makes the best of things. He goes around the outside of the No Limits motor Suzuki, so that team has done well. Alexei Masbu progressed the team up one position in that last little burst, and there goes Gino Ria outside of the last corner. He survives that scare a couple of laps ago, and he takes third place. Fantastic race finish from Gino Ria. Sees off the Suzuki squad. You can see what it means to the Honda squad. They have got aspirations of the World Championship, and they've just done themselves a power of good there. It's an 8-point swing, so that leaves them 15 behind with 2 rounds of the championship left to go, possibly 3. So stunning stuff. And did we see the Falcon Racing bike pushing across the line there?
Yeah, they pushed that across the bike.
Teo Asen, that is for the Falcon Racing Yamaha, just pushing that one across the line to finish 19th in total.
Isaac Vignal is on the 96 machine.
Yeah,
they had a good race in the end there.
Yeah, fantastic. And the BMW. Well, they had an arduous race, but yeah, arguably they kept their noses clean better than anybody, really. "23 pit stops, the least of any EWC bike that completed the race. The best least pit stops was actually the number 91 bike, only did 21, but they were down in 21st place. And yeah, great result for the LH Racing Yamaha team as well.
This is the first victory of the 37 at home at Spa. What is your feeling?
Yeah, it's very difficult to say because it's a dream the last 20 years. And now we did it. It's, I don't know. No words.
Enjoy.
Yes, I enjoy. Thank you.
Yes, you will enjoy.
I don't think there's a lot more you can say than that.
Across the line there, sheer joy for Jeremy Guarnoni. Of course, don't forget his teammates there made a massive part of this. So Markus Reiterberger, Ilya Michalczyk and Jeremy Guarnoni see BMW home for their first big endurance win. Fantastic. He waves to the marshals there. Our race winner, Jeremy Guarnoni, of course, with his teammates.
And you can see the grin
Marcus
through his helmet there.
Say again?
You can see the grin through his helmet, can't you?
Yes, it means so much. There's so much effort for everybody, really. It's a massive result just to finish one of these endurance races, and it's an even bigger result to have won the thing. So he has brought it home beautifully, just didn't get perturbed by the antics behind him or in front of him, as it turned out to be. And got to give up for Gino Ria. He made maximum effort in those last few laps, barring that mistake when he entered La Source. I'm sure he didn't see the bikes coming in, or it surprised him how rapidly he was approaching them. And you know, he must have expected it, but even so, they were remarkably slow going in there.
There was a lot going on around him there, and that is just one of those things. But credit to the Honda squad there. You know, they were back down to 10th at 4 o'clock this morning. They were 10th. Gino was devastated, understandably. He just had to push the bike back, and they've just been consistent and kept chipping away. And to put it on the podium, I think if you'd have spoke to them at 3:30, 4 o'clock this morning, they wouldn't have said for one moment that was going to happen. So Gino will be happy with that. Well, all the team, D'Amelio and Josh Hook as well. Yeah, but in amongst a team with definite title aspirations, the Honda squad, and make no
no illusions to the fact that they want this championship to wrestle it from the Suzuki team. It would certainly be a major boon for that Honda, which has had a torrid time. Really, the Superbike has not been the choice of the field in World Superbikes, has it really? So to see them up there and compete for this championship, that's fantastic for all bike racing. Great stuff.
And that team there, the LH Racing team, you know, that'll be a team made up of volunteers, family, friends, everybody just pitching in. What an amazing feeling for him.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Goosebumps all around. Johan Nigon it is, number 94, De La Vega, Enzo De La Vega, the yellow armbanded rider, and Hugo Robert as well, the other member of that team. All French riders. Gino! That means a lot to them.
Absolutely.
It really does mean a lot to them. I think just to beat Suzuki.
And that's that thing, the fight that they've had since 3:30 this morning to get that back from 10th back into that position. That's all of that. That's the stress, the build up, the pressure.
Who have we got there? Can we see that on the back of the lens? Who he's hugging there? I'm not quite sure who that was. Michalczyk, very happy Ukrainian there. You know.
Yeah, we saw Gino.
I mean, apart from that slip, he really did have Simeon covered, didn't he? He had the pace of him from the very off, really.
But to be fair, that's what he had to do. That's the Gino had to attack from the word go.
I think we're going to see it here, are we? No, this is the overtake. So this is back at the source. There we go. It's just blasted straight past him.